afternoon. Welcome to our class in Econ 2122 of Applied Economics. So we are in week 17 of our discussions, and it's about the production theory. So for our objectives for this day, we are about to discuss the production theory as a basis for coming up with viable or feasible and profitable business, and to identify the significance or importance of production theory in business. So first, let us define what is production. Production here refers to the use of economic resources to create economic goods and services that will used to satisfy the human wants. That's why in economics, production is very important. It is for the main purpose of utilizing the limited resources that we have to satisfy the unlimited wants and needs of our customers. So in economics, there is a theory of production, which defined as an analysis of the input and output relationship. Because in production, it undergo a system which includes input, process, and output. Therefore, in the theory of production, it serves an analysis of the between the input and the output, or it gives a relation it gives an analysis of the relationship of the input to the output. So here, let's define what is input. Input refers to the resources used to produce goods and services. So it can be there are different inputs of production. It includes the land, labor, capital. At the same time, in business, the entrepreneurial skills that is very needed in the operation of the business. While output refers to the product created as a result of a combination of input in the production process, because the output is considered as the final or the finished goods or the finished product produced from the input after undergoing a production process. That's why in the theory of production, it involves input, process, output. Here, production function is also very important because it serves as an equation showing the maximum output of a commodity that a firm can produce per period of time, with each set of input and wherein the input and output are measured in physical rather than monetary units, because we are basing here the quantity of the inputs that is the process in order to produce the output. So it is more of physical or in terms of units or quantity or units rather than a in terms of its value or it is measured in terms of the peso value. So take note here in the production, based on the input and output, it is measured in terms of quantity. It can be per unit or it can be per hour. Here, the production function, so it is the production function, is represented in the equation wherein the output is equals to the function of the input, where O stands for the output and I stands for the input. So to be more specific, output depends on the quantity of the land, labor, and capital available. Because in producing a finished product or finished output, it depends on the capacity of the land. It depends on the accessibility of the area, or it depends on the square meter or the area of the land that occupying the business. And then also the labor. The output that produced in business also depends on the number of workers, at the same time, number of employees that are making an output. So that's why in the example in a factory, if the number of workers is limited only in the production or in producing a finished product, therefore the output that they produce is also limited. And also in terms of number of hours, because in terms of number of hours, it depends also on the output that they produce. If the company allow the workers to produce or to work only for 4 hours, therefore the number of the output or the number of their units that they may produce is also limited. And also, it can be based on the capital. So the capital is the amount invested by the company, or it can be uh, the fixed asset that invested by the company, like equipments or machineries or tools that are used in the productions. So if the company is invested uh, in terms of the latest technology or the latest machineries that wherein they can produce more or volume of numbers of the products or finished goods. Therefore, the output of their production also increases in volume. Okay, so that's why output depends on the input or the number of the quantity of the land, labor, and capital available. So here, the production function contains the functional relationship between output and the basic factors of land, labor, and capital. These basic factors complement each other as they are used in the production of goods and services. That's why even in during the pandemic, yeah, because there is a need of social distancing, the company limits the number of their workers who can work inside the factory. That's why their production is also limited. Even the basic or the necessary needs for the preventive measures or that is needed is also limited, or there is a limited distribution or selling of the needed products. So that's why even in terms of calamities wherein many are affected, like typhoon or flood, so therefore the production in terms of foods is also increasing. However, due to pandemic, the company also needs to practice social distancing or limiting the number of workers who can uh, who can work inside the company. So therefore, the number of their production or the number of the quantity of what they need to produce to supply or to supplement the demand in the market is limited only. That's why it affects the prices of the product that is sold on the market. Okay, so we have here the output produced is measured into three forms. We have the total product, the marginal product, and the average product. So here, take note here in the total product, it is combined production of several units of a given input. So this is more of the number of productions that is based on the given input. And we also have the marginal product, the additional output produced by an additional unit of input that is equal to the average of the total product divided by the average of the total input. While average product or AP refers to the average contribution per unit of input and is equal to the total product divided by the input. So let's have here an example wherein the variable input is labor. So we are about to discuss here the quantity of the labor input that is used as part of the input. is measured in man-hours. So that here, labor is an input which is measured in man-hours and is combined with the fixed units of capital and land. So based on the number of the quantity, um, and the land as a number, which is measured in terms of the man-hours, and is combined with the fixed units of the capital in land as also considered as an input. So here we have the total product, and then this is the computation of the marginal product and the average product. So here, for the total product, this is what I measure based on the number of the products that produced. So here in the addition of additional labor inputs leads to appropriately greater increase in the total product or output. So this is result in increasing values of the marginal product and the average product and corresponds to the labor input. So here, it is corresponds the labor input from 1 to 4. So if you see, in the quantity of the labor input, in the total product, as the quantity of the labor input increases, the total product also increases, like 10, 22, and the quantity of 4, it becomes 55. And then if you notice here, the maximum on the quantity of 7 and 8, they are still increasing. So the more the product, the more labor is, or the more the number of hours are required to do, to work by the worker, the total products is also increasing. As more input of labor are added, total product continues to increase. But if you notice, the total product on the 10th quantity is decreasing. So this happens also from the 5th to 9th, to the 5th to nth input of labor. Okay, so if you see in the 5th, so still it is increasing, but on the marginal product on the 5th is from 18, it decreased to 14. So in the 5th quantity. And on the 10th quantity, on the 9th and 10th, there is, on the 9th, there is a decrease or already became 0 on your marginal product. So even your product is still increasing, the marginal product or the level of the level of their production in terms of labor already decreasing. So upon the addition of the 10th input of labor, the marginal product is now negative. So right, in the 10th quantity of the labor input, the marginal product is already negative. So if you notice in the marginal product, in the quantity of 1, the marginal product and the average product is already still increasing until the 5th quantity. But on the 6th until 9th quantity, there is a decreasing part of the result, or if we compare it to the total product. And in the 10th quantity, the marginal product is already negative. So here the marginal product and the average product also decreasing in values. So upon the addition of the 10th input of labor, the marginal product is now negative. The product are both decreasing. We have the stage of diminishing return. That's why if we see here in the marginal and average product, the product now is already decreasing, especially if they are going to reach the 10th quantity. There is a negative already in the marginal product, and there is a diminishing of returns. So the stage where the total product is increasing at a fast rate is the stage of increasing. So if we are if we base on the cycle of the product, it is considered as this product is on the uh, growth stage wherein they produce more. That's why this is in the stage of increasing. And here, same with the marginal product and the average product, they are both increasing also. When the total product is increasing at a slower rate, so if you see, there is a decreasing on the there's a decreasing slowly in the marginal and average product starting on the fifth quantity. So wherein until in the 10th quantity, the result of marginal product is negative. So it is considered as the stage of negative returns. When the total product decreases as a result of marginal product is negative, okay, so it is considered as stage negative returns, or it can be in net loss, or there is a net loss on the side of the company. So take note here in the production behavior that leads to law of diminishing marginal return. It is in the reference to the diminishing values of marginal product. The law states here about the law of diminishing marginal return that additional input are combined put with one or more fixed input. The reason for this behavior can be traced to the constraint phase because of the fixed resources that are used in complement with the variable input in this case. Which is labor. So here, if we are do a simple analysis, the workers may produce a number of quantity based on the variable and the fixed units that are available here, which includes the capital and land. The man can produce, okay. So here in the quantitative labor, it includes the number of hours that the man may work plus the fixed units of the capital, it can be based on the capacity of the machine plus the availability of the area, or the area of the factory or the land, and also in terms of the accessibility of their factory, so which measures also in the land as considered as fixed. So the man can produce the quantity of the product until the fifth quantity, or it can be until fourth quantity, okay, wherein they are more productive in the fourth quantity. However, if they're going to add on, uh, or if they are going to oblige to produce in the fifth quantity or until the 10th quantity, the marginal product of the workers that they can produce is already decreasing. The add-on product, or the add-on capacity of the product is already decreasing, wherein the productivity of an employee is already decreasing. That's why as a um, owner or even a supervisor setting a quota to the workers, you must also know the capacity of your workers in terms of the number of hours that they can produce, a number of the quantity, and also the available capital like machineries that they can use in the production, and also the capacity of the land. It can be based on the area of the land or area of the plant, or in terms of the accessibility of their um, operation in terms of land. So what is the significance here of the production theory in business? So in a business, it is engaged in providing goods and services to customer with a goal of making profits, right? So aside from having a corporate social responsibility wherein the company is earning profit, right? We also or as in owner of a business, you have also a responsibility of sharing the profit that you have to the community, as well as uh, take care the environment. That's why aside from satisfying the needs of our customer, we must also satisfy the needs of our employees or workers, as well as helping the in need community. And in order to take care of our natural resources, we as a business, we also have the responsibility to take care of our natural environment. So also, the main goal here in a business, especially in the production theory, is making profits. So here, although some businesses are engaged in retailing goods, because from the producers or factory or manufacturing company, they distribute it to the distributor, wherein the distributor serves distribute it to the wholesaling company or wholesaling firm, and the wholesaling firm is selling it to the retailers. So that's why there are high percentage of businesses are engaging in retailing. So they are both from the producers. Okay, so there are many businesses produce goods that they sell. So therefore, it is important for the business proprietor to be aware of the production behavior here. That's why using the production theory, it will help to analyze the needs of also of our workers to achieve that target production. Because as human, aside from the number of hours, there is the capital and the land also affected the quantity of that produced by workers. So okay, because with the production behavior is that it will maximize the output that can produce within limited quantities of output available to him or her. So that's why using the production theory, just like for example that I presented from the previous slides, that we must know the production behavior, wherein the worker can just produce a maximized output based on the limited quantities of output that available to him or her. So that's why in this return will help also maximize the profit of the enterprise, because we should not allow to increase the number of quantity based on the capacity only of the number of hours of the man. The duty, it based on the number of hours a man having duty, plus the other inputs like land and labor. So that's why we should base on the result of the marginal product and the average product, based on the capacity that the workers may produce. Okay, because as the quantity of the labor input, again, in the quantity of labor input, there is a limited only, it already in the quantity of labor input, it includes the number of hours the man may work plus the fixed units of the capital and land. So the greater that that will add on to the input, the quantity of labor input, the marginal product continuously decrease. That's why, as a owner of the business, you must know also that there is a the workers may maximize its capacity on the fourth quantity only, in order that you can earn more profit than to allowing it to increase the number of input that is combined with the fixed units, but the result is continuously decreasing already or diminish already.